Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod. I'm here to talk about week 13 of Big Brother 25. We're still out here, we still have our mustard seed of hope. Previously on Big Brother, we had yet another JAG HOH leading to Blue being evicted, and then one of the worst double evictions in Big Brother history where America left as well. So as usual, I'm going to be recapping the 3 episodes this week, and at the end of the video, I'm going to do my updated player rankings. Not many players left. Remember when there were 17 people and we had so much hope? I put a link in the subject of my videos to the playlist where I put all of my recaps from the entire season, so if you missed any or you want to go back and binge them, go nuts and do that. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe because I heard a rumor that we're getting another season of Big Brother this winter. But with that, let's dive into this Sunday episode. The house guests celebrate being in the top 5, and Felicia mentions that she survived 6 times on the block. They flash back to before the eviction, and Felicia tells Blue that she's going home, and Blue's appreciative. Blue goes to Matt and Jag, and they own up to it. They have a sweet moment between the 3 of them. Blue tells Cirie that she knows her secret and that it was an honor to play with her. So then in our tour through the past, Bowie wins HOH, and I'm having my trauma revisited. The Sunday episode after a bad double eviction is like someone forcing you to watch videos of yourself being super embarrassing the day after like a wedding. Like, please, you don't need to remind me. Bowie tells Felicia and America her excuse for putting them up, that she made Cirie a promise. Bowie nominates Felicia and America. Boo hiss. Matt wins the veto, and America begs to be saved, but he keeps the nominations the same. America asks the guys to save her. She pleads and cries. She promises them she'll never come after them, but it's about to be the top 5. There was really nothing she could have said to get herself out of this one. So America's evicted, and on the way out, she says that Matt and Jag are going to win the show, which Cirie says she's aware of. So we get to the unfortunate, miserable, dystopian present. Matt promises Cirie that she'll be safe this week and brings Jag in on it, but Jag also tells Matt that it got back to him that Cirie told Felicia that Matt is turning on Jag. There's a lot of time jumping in this episode, 5 hours before, 5 hours after. Matt goes to Cirie and tells her what Jag said. It's a lot of he said, she said, Cirie said, Fifi said. I don't know how we get here, but eventually Cirie calls Felicia the toothless fairy. Matt tells us that he was planning to take a shot at Jag, but now he won a veto and he feels like his resume is fine and now he no longer plans to take out Jag. This is just thrilling television, right? Then we get to the HOH comp. They have little caricatures of themselves at the end of a blue, icy, wavy rink. Apparently their comics are back, and the comic Crystal, and honestly I'm so tired of BB comics after this season, let's retire it for good. They have to call their shot and aim for each other's faces and roll a ball to eliminate each other's 3 lives. I like a bull rolling competition, but I don't like that the majority can really just team up on the minority. I also don't like that they have to call their shots. It would be fun if someone could accidentally knock down their own face. Also, this competition would be fun to watch live. I'd want to see all the shots in live time. Remember on Big Brother Over the Top when we got to watch the competitions live? Like, say what you will about Big Brother Over the Top, and I feel like the show sees it as a failed experiment, but there were a few things that really worked with that. Like, all of the competitions were live on the feeds, as well as there were live diary rooms on the feeds once a week, or maybe twice a week. Anyway, that proved that it could be done, and all of the HOH competitions this season, including this one, could have happened on the feeds. Felicia and Cirie actually get off to a good lead in this competition, but at some point, Cirie targets Felicia and misses, but this was a complete waste of a throw and bad strategy. Jag eliminates Felicia, so Felicia's first out, and Cirie is left with just Matt and Jag by herself. I want to feel bad for Cirie, but she backed herself into a corner on this one by targeting Felicia, and what do you know, Cirie has terrible aim. Cirie eventually eliminates Jag, and then Matt eliminates Cirie and wins his first HOH of the season. Jag and Matt celebrate, as do Matt and Cirie, even though Matt winning this HOH was not good for Cirie. Felicia mentions Blue, and they show her black and white photo on the memory wall with an eerie, ghostly, "Boots down, sister," from Blue beyond the grave. Felicia tells Cirie that she should go to Matt and try to get Bowie on the block, but Cirie is like, Felicia, you want me to help you after you've been throwing my name under the bus lately? No, but try to help yourself, Cirie. Please, Cirie, for all of our sakes, try and help yourself. Matt gets his HOH room. He gets pictures of his family, a picture of Riley and his mom, and Matt gets a letter from Riley. He's been there for 90 plus days, and I get that it's cute, I guess, that Riley wants to write him a letter, but doesn't he want to hear from his actual family? Maybe his coach or his mom? He says, I guess I have a girlfriend after this. A girlfriend? A girlfriend? She is a friend that's a girl. In the kitchen, Cirie reminds Matt that he promised that he would never nominate her. Matt can't give Cirie a straight answer if she's going to be in his top 3, so Matt nominates Cirie and Felicia. Weak-ass nominations. Imagine being in the top 5 with 2 compies and 2 50-plus women who never win anything and targeting them. Cirie flips off the camera and says, take 2 of these, one for Matt, one for Jag, and an extra one for Bowie Jane. Then the announcer teases an extremely spooky Halloween episode
episode on Tuesday. I've been looking forward to Halloween for a long time, and I know this episode is gonna be awful. So on to the Tuesday night episode where the Scaryverse narrator luckily is there. He recaps on poems in my favorite voice. He'd stay here forever if I had a choice. But this is Big Brother, not a show whose fight is to listen to us or keep us satisfied. It's a show that doesn't mind making itself boring as long as Alison Gardner can remain horny.
But for real, it's Halloween on Big Brother, something I was so excited about at the start of the season, but now I'm so meh about. Future historians remember this episode aired on Halloween. So Cirie and Felicia are on the block. Cirie says that she can't wait to win the veto and shove it in everyone's face. Felicia says that she's been on the block 7 daggone times now, and she's gonna fish a veto out of her robe pockets. Come on, God! Felicia meets with Matt, where he tells her that she's a pawn. She says, so here we go again, I'm disgusted. Me too, come on, God. Matt tells Jag that he's the only person that he trusts left, and then they want to make an alliance name with Bowie, and they make their final 3 official with Bowie. They decide to name their alliance the Mafia and give themselves a little gang sign. Jag says it's the Mafia versus the Mamas. You realize you've assembled a team of 3 young, strong people against 2 50-plus-year-old women. Like I said earlier, this is the perfect example of punching down. Also, not shown on any of the episodes this week were the 3 Mafia members bullying Felicia and icing her out, or Felicia confronting them about it. Come on, God. Cirie doesn't want to talk to Matt because her feelings are hurt with him. Felicia goes to find everyone else and can't find them because they're hiding from her in HOH. Felicia calls Bowie Jane an ass kisser and says the 3 of them are sniffing each other harder than a dog with a bone. We get a funny scene that was even funnier on the live feeds where Felicia's picking her feet and toenails in Cirie's bed, and it's just hilarious. And Felicia files her nail, then she says, I think I need to take this toenail off, and then Cirie lint rolls the toenail shavings out of her bed. Bowie, Jane, and Jag both admit in the diary room that they don't think they could beat Matt. Jag says that he'd rather Cirie go home this week over Felicia because he feels like she's been throwing comps. Keep in mind, Cirie has maybe one of the worst win-loss percentages in challenges of anyone in TV history. The big Halloween veto competition is in a swamp, and the announcer sounds like calm Jigsaw. He says, you think Freddy and Jason are scary? Wait till you meet me. So they're in a swamp with fake alligators. This is the big Halloween event. This is weak. They have to swim back and forth and get hockey pucks to stack and build an antenna, and the antenna will call for help. This is it. The big Halloween veto challenge is water. Bowie says that her strategy is to pretend that she's sneaking up on an animal in Australia, and after all this time, 13 weeks, the only thing we still have to make jokes about for Bowie Jane is that she's from Australia. Then, in case this isn't thrilling television, they start moving even slower in the water, and Bowie says she's like an Aussie crocodile. So I wrote an interesting fact on my notes. Did you know that Bowie Jane is from Australia? Felicia says that she wants her mustard seed to blow some wind at Jag and Bowie. She says she ain't praying for anything negative. She just wants some grace. Can I get some grace? So Jag wins the veto and gets to call for help, and that's it. He wins the veto. Nobody comes out to try to kill or scare the house guests or anything. The announcer who said, you thought that Freddy and Jason were scary, wait till you meet me. We never meet him. The Mafia meet up, and Matt wants Cirie to stay. Bowie thinks that if Cirie stays, she'll be able to manipulate Matt into keeping her, so she wants her out. Matt goes to Cirie to reassure her that he refuses to let anything happen to her. The show is making Matt out to be the golden child, but he is very much more involved in the bullying than they make it seem. They get a luxury competition where one of them will win $5,000, and they'll be guided by a ghoul from the Scaryverse. The Scaryverse ghoul sounds like Jack Black's Slappy from Goosebumps, and the ghoul has put jack-o'-lanterns with their names on them around the house, and they have to take or give candy to each other. It's such a boring competition, and just another excuse for the Mafia bullies to gang up on Cirie and Fifi. Cirie says Matt and Jag's bowls are full of candy. Go figure. This might have been the most boring hunk of garbage Halloween content I've ever seen in my life. They count their candy, and Matt has the most and wins $5,000. So predictable. Cirie's strategy now is to tell Jag that she loves him and get him to keep her around for just one more week so that she can come for him afterwards. At the end of the episode, Jag doesn't use the veto. Felicia says Matt's a liar. Jag's a liar, and I never pay no attention to no Bowie damn Jane. And she declares that she will be the winner of Big Brother 25. Finally, the Thursday night episode comes around. Julie is wearing an 80s red power suit from her stepdad's closet with with pink rolled up cups. Julie makes it seem like the decision between Cirie and Felicia is going to split up Matt and Jag. Lie to me like I'm smart, Julie. Cirie feels okay about this eviction, but says she doesn't want to say she has it in the bag because then she'll be in the bag with her bags. Matt and Jag debate between Cirie and Felicia. Cirie asks Bowie for her vote, and she says yes, but tells us it's a lie. This episode is so sad. Like, I am reporting on something so unfortunate. Finally, we get some Jury House content, and Cameron is the mayor of Ponderosa there. He announces that Daddy's home, and I really didn't miss that. Cam says that he's a big fan of Jag. Corey arrives and says that he's relieved to be out of the game, and Blue kitty purrs herself into the party. America shows up and says it's shot o'clock, and the challenge is ready for you, America. They all watch the double eviction, and this jury is so small that this segment really isn't as fun as it could be. America's carrying this segment on her back, and she says she's rooting for Cirie and Felicia and says, "Come on, God." Back in the house, Felicia points out that Jag makes a comment that he's an Olympian and that Jag has been spending a lot of time with BJ. Felicia tells Matt that Jag's making fun of Matt, but he can't hear it because he's deaf. And Matt goes to Jag, and they decide that Felicia is using Matt's disability against him. But they also point out that she's not doing it on purpose maliciously. I found it interesting and convenient that they had time for this scene of Felicia being problematic, but not a scene of them being bullies. Gorgeous Cirie and Felicia give their speeches. Felicia shouts out her mustard seed in an elevated green t-shirt dress. Jag tells Julie she looks spooktacular, and I don't think that's what she was going for. Jag and Bowie both vote out Cirie, and I'm upset. So Cirie is evicted on day 93. Cirie says Big Brother is harder than Survivor, and the crowd goes, ooh. Cirie is a class act, and you know that Julie wishes all of her interviewees share Cirie's energy. So unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to Cirie, and let's talk about Cirie, because coming into this, there were rumors on Twitter before the episode that Cirie was the 17th house guest, and I didn't really believe the rumors, but then when I saw her just standing there in the kitchen when they all came inside on the premiere, I was like, oh shit. So I actually thought that she was going to be voted out pre-jury, only because surely they weren't going to let the legend Cirie get so far. But Cirie had a stranglehold over the first half of the game. The positives of her game were it was fun seeing her have fun with Izzy and Felicia in the beginning of the game when they would just get bored and play the game and start trouble. It was really stressful for us viewers because it was like, what is Cirie doing? But it was fun, and it was such a blessing seeing her on the live feeds. We got 90 days of Cirie on live feeds. That's insane. I think if they didn't take out Hisam in the beginning of the game, this would have been a different story for Cirie. Hisam really was an ally for them who was going to win competitions and keep them safe. And I know it wasn't Cirie's HOH or anything, but Cirie had a heavy influence in what happened that week. Cirie was like 1 or 2 of my rankings for really the first few weeks, but then Izzy gets evicted, and I feel like that's when the fun really stopped for Cirie. At that point, when that happened, and then Jared gets evicted, I feel like Cirie only did Big Brother because Jared was doing it, and the producers probably said, if you don't do this show, we're not putting your son on. Not in a threatening way or anything, but yeah, you could tell that Cirie was really there to forward Jared's game to the point where she was even offering to go home instead of Jared at one point. Especially after Jared was evicted, I feel like Cirie was really miserable and felt out of place, and because of that, I feel like she never really had the heart to get herself back into the game. She also burnt a bridge earlier on in the game, lying to Bowie Jane about the red vote for really no reason. If they would have kept Bowie Jane's loyalty, Bowie would have been a really useful ally for Cirie and Felicia in the endgame. Like, even after all this, we could have had a bye-bye bitches final 3. I also feel like Cirie was very self-aware of the fact that her relationship with Matt was not good for her game. She said that she had a weak spot for him. I think that she saw him like an Aris type. She knew that he was going to beat her, but she was okay with it. So in total, when you combine not really being able to win a competition with not a perfect social game, I can see why Cirie is evicted here in 5th, but obviously it's a shame after all this time and it's super disappointing. Overall, I do love Cirie, but I don't know if Big Brother is really her show. And she did inspire me to make another video of a dream cast of 20 Survivor players playing Big Brother. So Big Brother 26, all survivors, give it to me. I want it right now. So it's time for the final HOH comp. Go Felicia, come on God. The comp is called Chenbot Volume 1, and Julie will ask them questions about her comic book. So they show Julie's comic book on the screen for a very, very long time, and it's very small. You can't really read the comic book. I was so nervous watching this, and Jag and Bowie Jane got ahead of Felicia, and then Jag and Bowie and Matt celebrate as the competition's going on, and I'm flipping off my screen. I'm so pissed. And Jag and Bowie have a tiebreaker, and what do you know? BJ wins yet another HOH. So that's where we leave off. BJ is HOH. Also, I hated this HOH comp. I know it was called Chenbot Volume 1. I hope we never ever see a Volume 2. So let's get to some player rankings. We have our top 4. I can't believe at some point I was doing 17 of these. So in 4th place, and obviously in my opinion the most likely person to get evicted on Sunday is Felicia. Not too much to say here. She really needed to win this HOH competition, and she could have won it. It was something that was in her wheelhouse, but she really blew it. Obviously the downside is she's probably going home. The mustard seed of it all is if someone won the final HOH that wasn't Felicia, Bowie Jane was probably the right person for her. Bowie Jane is someone who definitely would have voted Felicia out if she wasn't the HOH. And now BJ can't vote, which is good. So there's 3 scenarios. The least likely scenario is Felicia wins the veto. I would love to see that outcome, but unless the veto competition is who has the most Oreos in their pockets, I don't know if Felicia's going to win it. The most likely scenario is Matt or Jag are voting to evict, and either of them would look so stupid voting out Felicia over the other one. The fact that either Matt or Jag would stand there in front of Felicia and the other one that's on the block and vote out Felicia, it's just so dumb. Like, they would deserve to lose at that point. So that is Felicia's mustard seed of hope that actually the same logic could get her to the final 2. In third, I have Bowie Jane. I think out of the 4 of them, Bowie probably has the least likelihood of winning a jury vote. She's not liked or respected by a lot of people in the jury. Her actions in protecting Matt and Jag are not likable or respectable, and she ends up making it to the final 3 without ever being nominated, joining a very elite group of players who are much better players than her. It's hard to really rate her as a player because her entire entity is like if you hit randomize on a sim. Like, if I opened up The Sims right now and used the JoJo Siwa expansion pack to put toddler clothes on a 45-year-old woman, and then sent her to work as a lawyer with little Kimmy Finster pigtails, that's the reality that we're living in. So at number 2, I have Jag, who is always going to be number 2 to Matt. Ever since Matt adopted Jag with his twist, he's been such a hardworking henchman for Matt. Maybe Jag has a shot if he cuts Matt. He definitely doesn't have a shot against Matt. The only person out of these 4 that he has a chance with is against Bowie Jane. So based on the fact that he only beats 1 out of the 3 competitors, he's here at number 2. And number 1, I have Matt, who's been around number 1 for a while now. I said earlier in the season, maybe at around the top 10, that Matt is so far ahead of everyone else that by the time that they realize they need to get him, they'll have no way to get him. But I didn't think that we would get so far, and they still don't realize they have to get him. And here's the thing, on a different season, he's a terrible player. He's probably going to win this season, but he hasn't really made any moves, which makes it unsatisfying. Like the fact that he said this week, oh, I thought about targeting Jag, but I won a veto, so I guess my resume looks good enough. That for me is slacker mentality. Where is the gusto? Where is the winning attitude? The try something mentality? Felicia's on the bottom and she never wins shit. She wakes up in the morning saying, I'm about to throw Suri under the bus. At least she's trying stuff. Not to make talking about Matt, talking about Felicia, but really these young people are so blessed that they can win all these physical competitions that they just are so privileged and do nothing with it. Yeah, I said the P word. These young guys the last few years on Big Brother come on here, they win every single competition, they make it to the end like it's nothing, they don't try to play the game, they don't care, they are privileged. And it's a problem because I'm sitting here on day 93 doing an update and having a guy at number 1 who's literally done nothing. So obviously there's something wrong if someone can win a 100-day season of a social strategy game making no big moves. And all we can do is watch this show year after year and waste our lives away waiting for something different to happen. With that, that's all I have to say this week. I'm extra erratic tonight. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this week on Big Brother. And until next week, bye.